strike.
Hey guys, we are going to jump right into the arm section with some push-ups. Choose any kind you want, multiple types, explosive, weighted, on your fists, any of those, and I want you to do a set of each of the kind that you choose. Next, we're going to work those opposing muscles with rows and pull-ups. You're going to do 3 sets of each of the 2 different grips for rows, the classic and the neutral grip, and you're going to do it with a smile on your face, just like Star and Stripe. And for pull-ups, you are going to do 1 set of each of the different grips. You've got the classic grip, the neutral grip, the narrow grip, and the chin-up. And then after all that, you're going to hang for 30 seconds to a minute in classic grip position. What you're going to see on the screen next is a variety of weightlifting exercises that I will put in the description below this video. What I want you to focus on now is how you're going to reach your goals with these exercises. So if you're like me and you want to be strong and lithe, then every time it gets easy, you'll add more reps. However, if you're watching this video, we all know Star and Stripe is huge and muscular. So if you want to be huge, strong, and muscular also, instead of doing what I do and adding reps when it gets easy, you are going to challenge yourself. You're not going to wait till it gets easy. When it's no longer a big struggle, you are going to up the weights that you are lifting. All that being said, I do have a slight disclaimer. You are not going to want to struggle so hard with every rep that you are straining with every rep. So that would be too much weight. And we want to be healthy. We do not want to get an injury where you're not able to lift for a while, because that would set you way back from your goal of getting bigger and stronger. For example, my father is a huge weightlifter and has been for decades, and he was big and strong and had these huge muscles, but not that long ago, he tore one of his biceps, went and got it fixed with surgery, did physical therapy, got back up to where he could lift weights again, and then a couple of months ago tore the other bicep doing another mundane task. The doctor said that over his time of heavy lifting and straining with each rep, he was slowly tearing the bicep each time. So just keep that in mind. We don't want to be tearing biceps or triceps or anything. We want to challenge ourselves, but not to the point of straining with every rep. Next, we are going to focus on boxing. So this works strategy, muscles, it works your mind as you focus on the technique and the sparring and how to. So you're going to pull up a how-to boxing video. I prefer the channel Tony Jeffries, which I will link in the comments under this video. He was formerly an Olympic athlete, so he does a really great job of explaining all of the techniques. Finally, we're going to be doing burpee push-ups to end the arm section. It does incorporate a lot of core and legs as well, but it means it's a good transition to the next section. So you're going to do 2 sets at least of burpee push-ups, and we are trying to get super strong. This is the Star and Stripe workout, so if you can do more than 2 sets comfortably, within reason, go for it. Next, we're going to warm up to work those legs. So everybody do some walking lunges like so. Yeah. Next, you're going to do some lunge kicks to build that base strength that Star and Stripe has. You're going to do 10 on each leg 3 times. That's right, 3 sets per leg. Let's go. Follow that up with 8 weighted squats. That's right, 8 squats that you're going to hold for 10 seconds each. Get down low, build that strength. Let's go. Next, we're going to the core. So that good core strength, we're going to start with the basics. Do 2 sessions of 60 seconds each of crunches. Follow that up with 1 minute of bicycle crunches. Then 3 sets of weighted sit-ups. It's a lot easier if you have those circular weights, but you work with what you have. Follow that all up with a plank pose. You're stationary, still. No. You're going to keep moving. You're going to do some stair steppers, followed by up downs. And then finally work those side abs. So you're going to do this in a series 3 times for 1 minute each.
Sounds right.
Next, we're gonna put on some music and do a little shadow boxing. Use some of those good moves you learned from the how-to boxing video that you did earlier.
Sound stripe.
Next up for cardio, if you do a martial art or boxing, you can spar with somebody. I prefer the sparring where you don't actually hit someone, but you stop just before. That does exist, and it is really healthy because you don't injure yourself so that you can't continue to work out. But if you're like me and you don't have anybody to spar with, just do some good old-fashioned practicing in your home by yourself. It's all right. With a bag if you're a boxer. Anything like that is good cardio. If you haven't noticed, Star and Stripe is buff all over. So we are going to do the cardio workout that's also a full body workout, and that is swimming laps. So go swim some laps. I didn't record myself actually swimming the laps at the gym because then you would have realized that I didn't actually have blonde hair. But seriously, on days that you can't get to the pool, this is actually a good thing to do, to watch yourself in the mirror and do your swimming form so that you can correct yourself. We're also going to run, of course. You can run like normal and run your normal laps, but you could also get a weighted vest if you want to get buffer like Star and Stripe. And you can also run inside like me when it's too cold to run outside in a sleeveless shirt. One final exercise I'll mention is, again, something you can only do if you're in a class already, but I really feel like Star and Stripe would participate in wrestling or judo or some similar martial art that's very hands-on and uses your whole body. And finally, stretches. Stretches are so important for the health and longevity of your muscles. Do not skip your stretches. Here are just a few that I'll put on screen real quick, but I will also link my Azula video, which was more for beginners and has a lot of stretches that are explained in detail. I will link that in the description on this video. And finally, I want you to train your mind. So, Star and Stripe had the quirk New Order, whenever she touched a person or an object, she could actually impose a new reality on those things. But it had to be something she could think of. So she would have to train herself in logic, science, math. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to read a book, study philosophy, logic, math, science. I want you to memorize scripture, learn a language.
大丈夫。私が来た。
Exactly. And I don't want you to stop there. I want you to do creative endeavors. Write a story. Compose a song.
Lord Jesus Christ lifts up his hands in a stable tonight to fulfill God's plans.
I want you to dance to a song. I want you to create a dance to a song. Learn to play an instrument or practice an instrument. Join your church or school or community choir. Act in your community or make different voices while you're reading to your children or other people's children, or even do small-time acting like on YouTube. But that's what this workout is all about. Whether it's challenging your mind or challenging your body, this whole workout is about challenging yourself to be better, to be stronger, to not give up. So, with that in mind, let's pick your number of reps based on your current level, but you will be wanting to challenge yourself in weight occasionally if you want to get big like Star and Stripe. So keep that in mind. I don't want to get big, just stronger, so I'll be focusing on adding reps when things get easier. But if you want to be big and strong, then you need to focus on adding more weight and giving yourself more of a challenge. Well, it's been a lot of fun, guys. I know you can do it. Drop a comment below to let me know how it goes creating your new order.